カリブ海から来たフランス人のジョアン・カンです。今日は外国人の方に向けて外国人迷惑行為について英語でお話しさせていただきます。Hello everybody, it's Joan Kun. As you can see, right now, Japan is one of the hottest destinations to go to. However, with the rise of tourism in Japan, more and more locals are complaining about tourists. Added to that, the rise of the far-right voices in politics, some foreigners are actually asking, do Japanese people hate foreigners? Short answer, from my personal experience, whenever you try to speak Japanese, whenever you are genuinely interested into Japanese culture and Japan in general, Japanese people are the most kind people and they would always be there to share with you what they know. However, what they dislike is when people from abroad come and disrespect their culture, disrespect their manners, and disrespect the country, monuments, and things in general. So today, I'm going to share with you some important manners to keep in mind whenever you travel to Japan so that you can enjoy Japan to the fullest while not upsetting anybody. So let's jump right into it. Do not sit on the floor in public places. From where I come from, in France especially, people tend to sit easily on the grass, in the park, sometimes on the sidewalks. It's not uncommon and it's not deemed bad thing also. But if you come to Japan, you would rarely see a Japanese people sitting on the street. And as I like to say, when I travel, I like to behave like the locals behave. So if you look around, you don't see any Japanese sitting on the floor. It may be because it's an unspoken rule. And actually, sitting on the floor is seen as inappropriate, and for hygiene reason as well, it's seen not very clean. So in the videos I share, you can see a lineup of tourists that are sitting on the floor in a mall, and I do understand their feeling because when I first traveled in Japan, tourists walk a lot. In one day, they can do many cities. You can go to Shibuya, Shinjuku, Harajuku in the same day. So that's a lot of walking and they end up being very tired. So I understand that feeling. So here are some solutions and alternatives you can do to avoid sitting on the floor and upset locals. Usually in big malls like in the video, there are areas, rest areas where you have a bench or sometimes you have like fake grass where you can actually have a break. So I would recommend to set your meeting point with your friends there so that if your friends want to do more shopping and keep hopping from shops to other, and if you feel tired, you can stay over there, and once they are done, they can come back and join you at that specific place. If you sit at that place, generally there are benches. That's an area that is set for people to have a break. I think there would be no problem, no issue with that one. So when you go in a mall, make sure to find the rest area or maybe find the nearest park. You set the meeting point and then you can join your friend there whenever they are done shopping so that everything goes smoothly and so that you can be mindful about that unspoken rule. Now, I do want to do a disclaimer. It happens that in some situations, Japanese people may sit on the floor. For example, recently, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I went to the beach and there was a convenience store right in front of the beach. So people would buy and then they would sit in front of the stairs of the convenience store. In the city, it's not very good to do, and I don't see much Japanese people do that one, but because it was in the beach, in a different setting, in a different context, so some Japanese people would do it, so I myself would sit on the floor and do the same. That's why I like to say, please look around you. If nobody does what you want to do, please don't do it. And if some people do it and you feel like it can be alright, then you can give it a try. Also, Japanese people, let me know if I'm right with that one, because I myself, I'm still learning in that matter. The next one, don't be loud or disruptive at temples or shrine. And this one, I think it's a very important point because each culture have their belief, right? And messing with someone's belief, that's pretty bad. So that's something we want as much as possible to avoid. And there's a big difference between Japanese temples and shrines and European places of prayer. I'm speaking about cathedral, but even mosques. For example, in France, you have the stairs of the cathedral and right away you have the building. So as a French people and for others, it is obvious that you cannot sit on the stairs of the cathedral because it is right away. But what I find out is that for foreigners, when they come to Japan, because Japan's temples and shrines are kind of more extended, you have a gate, for example, a torii gate, then you walk a bit, then you have another place where you can wash your hands, then you walk a bit, you have the stairs, and then you have the temple. Because of this, I observe that some foreigners do think that around the gate it's okay to kind of mess around because they are not in front, right in front of the temple. For those who are watching this video, please be aware that once you are on the side, no matter if you're not right away of the temple, it's more than welcomed to have appropriate behavior. And in the video I shared, we can see a man riding his skateboard, singing in front of a temple. And that's exactly what is happening. He's not right in front of the temple. He seems to be outside of the temple, actually. But the whole site is considered sacred. So for that reason, it's not appreciated to sing or to be loud in that area. And I checked that person's profile, that it's a content creator, just like me. When I checked his profile, I saw that it's someone who is trying to share positive vibes, singing, make people happy. So clearly it's not someone who is trying to do bad things to have some buzz. And when you see his reaction, you can tell that he was not aware that it was not okay to sing there. Maybe in his mind he thought he's not in front of the temple, he's not inside the temple, so it's okay. But actually it was not. So that's why I'm not trying to point at that content creator and say he's bad. I don't think like that. I think it's someone who has very good intention, but that was not aware of that unspoken rule. And his example helped us to raise awareness on this situation. So yes, even if you're not in the temple, please be mindful about it. There are also other examples where we have many red tories, red gates lined up in a stair. Some foreigners might think because they are not in the temple, they can sit on the stairs or they can dance on the stairs. This one is also considered inappropriate. So please let's be mindful about that one, as it is considered a sacred place. So all of those parts of the temple are respected by the locals, and you can understand their grudge and their frustration or maybe disappointment when they see that a place that they are praying at, a place that they are respecting, is being treated just like a regular place with less consideration than they do. The next one is don't ride on, scratch or damage historical monument. This one makes sense anywhere in the world. I think it would be very inappropriate to come and scratch the Statue of the Liberty or scratch the Eiffel Tower or scratch any kind of deeply rooted historical monument in any other countries, and it's the same in Japan. So I understand that there is the desire to take an original, funny photo, but please let's be considerate about the locals and adjust our desires to what the locals feel. Even if you have the best picture of the world with the best scenery, with the best pose, if it is disrespectful for the people who are living there, I think it's not a good thing. Especially in that video where we can see a lady riding on Hachiko's statue. For those who don't know, Hachiko is kind of an emblem, a symbol in Shibuya, because it was a dog who waited for his master for many days, weeks, and for a long time while his master was already dead. And every time he would come to the train station and check and see if his master was coming back from the train station. So this one has a meaning, and for those who don't really know about that story, I recommend to watch the movie. There's a movie about it. So you understand that it's not really a statue. It holds a symbolic value, and for that reason, treating it in a bad way can only create frustration in locals' heart, because that's something they value maybe all year long, and someone maybe who comes 1 week, 2 weeks, disrespect it, treat it in the bad way, and then leave back to their country. Do you understand that feeling? For me, it's as invited someone in your house to have a dinner, and then that person just put his feet on the sofa, gets the house dirty, doesn't respect the rules. So even if it's someone you welcome at first, but because of that behavior, it doesn't feel right, give you a bad feeling, because they do not respect what you value. That's the same when we travel. The country that we are traveling for a few days is actually someone else's home, and for that reason we need to be aware as much as possible and mindful about all those specificities. And apparently, recently an American man got arrested because his scratches. Was it a gate or an historical monument in Kyoto that was many years old? So he got arrested, he's probably going to be fined, and for the jail we don't know yet. But that's how it can end up. So it's also for your protection and for your safety. Please do not damage any historical monument, especially when you go to sensible places like temples, shrine, or museum about the war or places like that. And the last point, please do not block the passageways with your bags or luggages. That is something that I often see on a train. And here in the video I shared, we can see a group of travelers. They have their suitcase in the way, and the people in the video is saying, oh, we cannot pass. That's right, we cannot pass. Because if you look at the back, there is a sliding door. That's where you can move from a car to another while the train is moving. And with their luggages, the tourists are blocking that passageway. I understand the feeling of the tourist. Maybe they are changing from a hotel to another, or maybe they just arrived, or maybe they are going back to their country. Anyways, those tourists looks very tired. So I understand the tiredness here. So maybe they saw the empty seat, they seated there, and then they placed their luggages next to them, and that's it. And they started to sleep. But actually, there are areas dedicated for people who have a lot of luggages, or for disabled people, people who are in wheelchairs in the trains. So please, before riding a train, you can look on the floor. Usually, you have the number of the wagon of the train you're going to ride, and sometimes it indicates you where are those luggage areas. So usually those areas you cannot sit. You saw the seat where they were, those seats are gone, and so it makes more space to stand and to place your luggages. So maybe you can go in those specific train cars and maybe choose one person to hold the luggages while the others are sitting and sleeping, and then you can alternate. In that way, your luggage are not bothering anyone, and you can also have a sleep. When you come to Japan, I'm sure you're going to love that country. It's a beautiful country, but whenever you do something, please be considerate about people around you and always check. What are the locals doing? Are they doing it or are they not doing it? If they're not doing it, it might be an unspoken rule. If you are the only one doing something in a specific place, it might be an unspoken rule. So sometimes it's better to just be like a Roman at Rome and behave like the others whenever you're in a different place that is not your home country. I hope this video was very helpful, and I made that video assuming that the people who are going to watch are people who are genuinely willing to learn about Japanese culture and who really want to learn about those manners and rules. I know there are people out there who are doing things on purpose to bother people, to get reaction out of people. So I'm not making that video for those people, because whatever you will tell them, they will keep on doing it. It's usually those are creators, people who are filming, so they want, videos that are buzzing. But I made this video for people who are actually interested in Japan, who like traveling, who like discover about new cultures, and I hope it helps you prepare your trip in the best condition. I hope also you enjoy a lot your trip in Japan. Alright, thank you for watching. It was Joanne. Bye.